There's two applications out there in generative AI, those that are overhyped and those that are actually not well known by the general public that could have a lot of impact in society. As to the ones that are overhyped, typically people, when they see a new technology, they immediately imagine, oh my, this is going to obliterate a lot of jobs, right? And people think about what those jobs are. And when the pocket calculator was invented, which is a primitive form of generative AI, you type in a prompt and you get an answer, there was not a massive layoff of people because the pocket calculator existed. And that's going to be largely true in generative AI in its modern forms, chatbots and the like. It's not that it's going to eliminate a lot of people's jobs, because very few people actually have the job of doing chat in the way chatbots work today. In fact, most of the applications of generative AI have actually been applied to areas where nobody's actually doing the work. Now, it's not to say that people won't enhance their job and their productivity with generative AI. It's just that you can only expect in a very few, very narrow segments where generative AI will have, let's say, an impact that lives up to the hype. For example, in some customer service relationship management, there might be people who use generative AI for chat functions and the like. But it'll be largely for organizations that don't even have that function right now. For the ones that have that function, there's going to be more efficiencies for sure. In my mind, the ones that are unknown to the public, that people don't see happening, is what I would call the underserved segments of society. Most generative technologies have to ingest information, reduce it, and then feed back information to end users. But what if there was no content created in the first place? Like for underserved languages. The smaller a language is, the less content is generated in it. Americans have a massive amount of self-help books. It's crazy how many self-help books there are for English speakers. When you go to France, to a French bookstore, there's less self-help books. And it's not because the French know what they're doing and Americans are flipped out. It's simply there's less people who speak French. So the value chain of publishing profitably in the French language is not very good. You go to Italian, it's worse. Arabic, not very good. African dialects and languages, almost nothing is published in those languages. So what I foresee is a massive explosion of the exposure of content across all of the world's languages using generative AI. The project our lab is working on is literally to do that across hundreds of languages and across every known subject. So everyone has access to knowledge. Without generative AI, it simply could not be done.